Hi everyone. Yes, it's me again, hiding behind this big thing right here. I'm beginning to think that this is part of my outfit every day, and it has been for months now. I do want to make an announcement that there is going to be free COVID testing over in Port Orange by Aunt Catfish over in that parking lot area. So, those of you that are interested in getting a free COVID test, please go on over there. I believe then the following week, next week, there's going to be COVID tests over by Daytona State or University over there. And so you can get your test over there as well. And that's for next week. But welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to see everyone. One of the things that I have not been able to do, just because I kind of balance the two jobs, but I was able to be in the book club this morning at 9 o'clock. And what I did is I got in my office really early, and then I put my alarm on, and then at about a quarter, maybe 10 to 9, I was able to go out in my car, use my cell phone, and of course in Zoom you couldn't see me, but you could hear me. So it was really fun because I got a chance to hear a lot of voices that I hadn't heard for a long time. You know, Reverend Larry High, and of course, you know, there were so many folks. Betty was on the call. Hi, Betty. And Rod and Marilyn were on the call. Hi, guys. But we miss you guys, but we understand because of this stuff. That's why I'm wearing this. So I kind of was thinking about the book. The name of the book that the group picked out was a book by Scott Stillman, and it's called The Wilderness, The Gateway to the Soul. And I started thinking about how this COVID has affected our way of life and how we touch each other or don't touch each other, and how even our graduates can't even graduate in the same way. Some people were having graduations, virtual graduations on the video, and others were celebrating just with small groups. So it has been an interesting walk. And of course, that COVID wilderness on the one side, and then of course George Floyd, who's brought up a plethora of conversation throughout the country, which I find just heartening, because at least now we're talking about some really hard things, really ugly things, but at least we're able to give them voice. But with that same note, I wanted to read on one of the pages in the first chapter of the book. It talks about, on page 23, maybe that's the second chapter, but it talks about hours later, I make it to the edge of the wilderness. I find a nice place to camp with several more water pockets nearby. One contains a liter or two. The other is much larger, containing at least 5 or 6 liters. Plenty enough for an unlimited refills of coffee and tea. Relax. I relax for the remainder of the afternoon, resting my tired feet and washing the scrapes on my arms and legs, savoring my surroundings. Tomorrow will be my last day. It's a 14-mile walk back to Sedona. This is a person that is in the wilderness, literally, in the desert, hiking through the canyons of the United States. And in this particular time, this man is by himself. And when you think about being by oneself and moving things out of our way, like our cell phones and even our families and even human contact, he's there all by himself, but with his God. And in the wilderness, some of the most simple things give us the most joy. And for this gentleman, he was literally looking for water. Water, the life base of our being. If we don't drink, we don't live. If we don't breathe, we don't live. And so this gentleman is finding solace in the beauty of what God has for all of us. And he's pushing away all of the nonsensical things that us as human beings seem to be caught up in, and making space for his commune with God. And as we balance our lives as best we can, with, of course, the grace of God, let us start pushing back when we're in the wilderness, as we are sometimes with this COVID and possibly even what's going on with the protesting out in the world. Take time for yourselves and sit back and think about what you're going to be doing to give back, to nourish yourself first, so you're strong enough to give back. You know, that old cliche about when the oxygen drops in the airplane and you put it on yourself first, and then you take care of your child or the person next to you. May all of you please feed yourselves, and then feed those around you immediately. And then think about some of the things that are happening around us today, and how is it that we can either have a conversation with someone or encourage someone else in this life. And I always end with a little bit of saying, what would Jesus do? And today we were talking a little bit, and I wrote it in the book. Let's see if I can find it, because I'm always writing in books. I don't know about you, but that's the reason I kind of like books as opposed to the things on the video. But Psalm 46:10 says this, and this is so difficult for us to do as people of God, to just be still and know that I am God. Amen to all of you. Amen to your children. And amen to all of humanity as we work through our wilderness. I'll see you later.